Hello everyone. Yeah. Fuck. Oh my god. Hello everyone. Today is the day I am finally filming this Organibrow that I have told you guys about. By the way, for those of you who have never seen me without makeup on, here I am. Okay, so I'm gonna be filming this Organibrow, and what that means is it's basically a more like fluffy version of brows, basically to make them look more natural and fluffy and whatever. That's Charlie Wan in the background, so she will be saying hi here and there. Okay, so I told you guys on my stories I was going to be doing half my face of the normal brows that I have been doing for like a long time, and then on the other half I'm going to do Organibrow. So I think I'll do the Organibrow here on my left side, and I'll do my normal everyday brows here on this side. Now I will just say as a disclaimer really quick, certain products are going to work better for you in your skin type and your brows. So I've been kind of playing around with this, and I have not perfected the technique yet. So some days I'm like, I don't really love this, but you know, whatever, trial and error. So, but what I've noticed lately is I think if you have more oily skin, sticking to powders, like a brow powder or even eyeshadow, which I'm going to be using eyeshadow today, is going to be better for you than something like a cream, or even a pencil will be better. Like pencils and powders are better for oily skin versus like a dip brow or pomade. Not pomade, brow, pomade, whatever. Those are going to be better for people with dry skin, because it can kind of glide on a little easier versus if you're oily, it just kind of, it gets too messy and it doesn't really stick to the skin. So that's just what I have been playing with. So today I'll probably be using a little bit of both. I'll be using my Anastasia Dip Brow, and also just an eyeshadow from my Jaclyn Hill palette, her original one, and then I'll be using, like I said, the Dip Brow in chocolate. So the reason I'm using both is because this, the Dip Brow is going to give me a little bit more detail for the really sparse areas. So like my brows, hello, hi, they are, you know, pretty thin, especially this one, the tail. Girl, I don't know, she's weak over here. And then on this side, she's a little fuller, always is that way. That's just how my brows are. So on this side, in the more sparse areas where I have to like really draw on to make them look fuller, I'm going to be using the Dip Brow, and then just kind of filling in with the eyeshadow in between. It'll make sense when I show you. And then on this side where I'm doing the brows that I just normally do every day, I'm just going to be using eyeshadow actually, because I don't know, it's just my quick and easy everyday kind of thing. Like when I'm going out, obviously I'll do like Dip Brow, and I'll do powder too on top of it, maybe if I'm feeling fancy. But for the most part, I try to keep things pretty low key, and I like things to look really natural and, you know, quick, easy, on the go. Okay, so I'm gonna stop running my mouth. Let's see. So you're gonna also need brow gel. This is Anastasia's brow gel. It's just in clear. So that's gonna help afterwards. That's really what's gonna pull the effect all together and make them look fluffy and stay fluffy. Because I'll be drawing little lines and whatnot, but this is what makes them, the brow hairs like brush up, and then they'll really look fluffy and stay that way all day. Okay, so let's see. I have nothing on my face, nothing on my brows right now. So first thing I'm gonna do is take my Anastasia Beverly Hills, her brow brush. It usually comes with, or not comes with, but it's sold at Sephora or Ulta, and it's over by her Dip Brow. Okay, so I'm gonna brush all the hairs up. Excuse my couple stray hairs that I have not tweezed because I'm lazy and tweezing sucks. So I'm just combing all of them up like so on both sides. Remember, my left side, this is going to be the Organibrow side. So I'm just combing them all up. Okay. So now I'm going to go in with the dip brow first. And little goes a long way with this stuff, especially if you buy this brand new. Oh my god, tread lightly. Literally just dip your brush in there a little bit and you're good to go for like your whole brow. This one's a little bit older, so it's a little more dried out. So I'm dipping a little bit more. But I'm just getting a nice even amount of product. Okay, so I'm gonna try my best to so that you guys can see. Okay, so I'm making sure there's no clumps on here. Just kind of tapping it on my inner arm, hand, whatever. And I'm just gonna be, I personally kind of like to start like in the middle and then work my way out and then work my way in. So really shaping and drawing the outside first. And I'm just gonna create little brow strokes, like little lines, and I'm drawing them in the way that my natural hair would grow. Okay, so yeah, okay, so you guys can see that. Charlie, get out of here. I'm sorry, she's below me and she, every time I do my makeup, she always wants to be by my makeup, so she's in it. So drawing these lines, so let me make sure I make it so that there's no clumps. I'm really just going over these lines just to make them a little darker. And so once I start getting to the arch and over here, I'm gonna twist my brush and do more vertical lines than diagonal, because that's the way your brow hairs go. So I'm not making mine much thicker necessarily than my natural brows. So I'm not drawing too much like over the skin or anything like this one. I don't need much, like I don't need to draw it in so much so that it looks a lot thicker. Whereas on this side, I'll like extend the line and draw them in over here. Like, it makes any sense. I'm so bad at explaining things. But I will draw like the diagonal strokes up past this line because I want that tail to look thicker. So I'm just gonna continue, and I'm really just lightly pressing and drawing little brow strokes, pretty much following where my natural brow hairs already are. And by the time I've gotten to the middle here, there's not much product left on my brush, and that's the way you want it. Little goes a long way, and you want to be able to build the color, not go in with too much and then be like, oh my god. If you do have too much product on all of a sudden and you're like, oh god, I went too heavy-handed, just comb it out. Like, I'm gonna comb this out and spoolie it out and everything, so just don't even worry about it. And then after, when you put the brow gel on, it'll all just come together, I promise. Okay, so again, I'm just drawing little brow hairs, and I'm going straight up with it. And stupid, and didn't wipe it on my thing first, so it's getting a little clumpy. And like I said, you can just spoolie it out, which I usually do that at the end anyway. I try not to make things too perfect, or like be really tedious and stick to making it try and be perfect. With this technique, honestly, less is more, meaning like the less lines that you draw, the more fluffy it looks. Like if you go in with too many lines and keep drawing lines, it's just gonna look like a normal brow. It's not gonna look like a fluffy Organi brow. So, again, this is just the dip brow that I'm using. I have dried combination skin, so this dip brow really works for me. And like I said, I like to use it to have more definition first, and now once I get it to, you know, the brow that I like see that one's a little too thick right there. So I'm just going to take the spoolie and just brush it out a little bit. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but yeah. Okay, so that's what it looks like now. Now I'm going to go in with my brow powder, but I'm using eyeshadow, obviously, like I said earlier. And I'm using the Jaclyn Hill palette. Mine's a little loved, so sorry it's dirty. But I'm going in with this, she doesn't have the shade names on here, this really dark chocolatey brown. So I'm just going to be dipping my brush in there lightly. And then all I'm doing is it also kind of acts as like a setting powder for the dip brow. And it makes it stay longer, that way it doesn't stay a cream. I mean, the dip brow pretty much sets itself and it doesn't do much anyways, or it doesn't move much anyways. So, but anyway, I like to just kind of go in and put the eyeshadow just glides on a little easier, so I don't know, it just kind of adds a different detail. I don't really know how to explain it, but anyway, so I have a little bit on my brush, and again, I'm just kind of fanning in between the other lines that I made, and I'm not trying to be too perfect about it. I put a little bit on my brush at a time, so I dipped once and now I'm dipping again. And then I'm just kind of going over where all my natural hairs are. And I kind of make them go slightly onto my skin and slightly above where my brow hairs are, just so that when I comb with the brow gel, when I set the hairs up and comb them all up, they all look, you know, what's the word? I want to say dimensional. Can you tell I'm a hairstylist? Just so they look all spiky and different lengths. So yeah, so I'm going slightly above the skin, just out on the tail end, just slightly. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's just barely feathered up there. And then through everywhere else, I'm literally just kind of defining the line, or the shape I should say, of my brows, and just filling in any little sparse areas. I don't want to overfill them and keep drawing lines, because like I said, it'll take away from the detail and they won't look like brow hairs. It'll just look like normal brows. So I'm almost done with this, but I also don't want it to look patchy, and I don't want it to look like I have my natural brow hairs and then fake ones in between. So any sparse areas, I'll just kind of tap it lightly with the product and call it a day. I'm really hoping I'm making sense. You kind of just have to play with this, but just keep in mind, less is more, and I'm really just adding little brow strokes, and I'm not completely saturating the whole brow. Away. I make sure this is kind of what I'm looking for. I don't know if you can tell, but see how I've kind of just drawn lines here on the edge and just followed my natural brow hairs. And then right here where I had a little bit of a hole, I drew down like further on my skin and just kind of like fluffed, made fake hairs out there. You can drag it out further. Like I have kind of like short eyebrows, so I'm gonna draw this out a little bit further, but as I'm drawing it out, I'm not gonna keep drawing them down. I'm gonna kind of arch them up a little bit, if that makes any sense. I'm really just going super light on this. I more so just kind of want it to be like a shadow on the ends. And that's it. Like I literally drew like maybe 2 little lines. And that's about it. So now I'm just combing, again, everything through, making sure there's no clumps anywhere. See, like through here, where I have the most hair, it was super easy to do, and I drew them up more vertical, and as I'm starting to arch, I'm starting to go more diagonal with my brush versus straight up. And I'm using the side, like how I'm holding the brush is like the long part, the tip of it is what's on the bottom, if that makes sense. And then doing hair straight, vertical, and then slightly angling and going that way. I really suck at tutorials and I suck at recording, so very sorry. But here where I was more sparse, I'm just gonna make this a tiny bit darker, and then seriously, like that's it, I'm done. That's it. So this is it without the brow gel. Just looks more natural, fluffy. Looks like my brows grew that way. Okay, so now I'm taking my brow gel. Make sure there's not like a clump of it here at the tip. And I'm just gonna be, again, combing them or brushing them up in the way that they grow. And this is where the magic happens, because this is what pulls the look all together. Look at how much like fluffier they look. And I'm sorry, I'm really pressing lightly because I don't want to, you know, brush the product too much off of my eyebrows. So I'm just kind of using this lightly. The tail ends of my brow, like really brushing like pretty much straight up. Slightly curving it at the arch. And that is it. Yeah. Ooh, she's cute. I was really hoping I'd be able to pull this off on in one try. And I get really camera shy and I get stupid when I start filming. So this is the Organibrow. Very simple, very natural for your beachy, like I want to look wild and free, untamed girl. This is your brow right here. I've been loving it lately. Okay, so now I'm gonna do on this side really quick. Honestly, this takes me so much faster, or takes me way less time just because I've been doing it for so long. Like it just comes secondhand at how I shape this brow and whatever, so this doesn't take me as much time. But on this side, this is my more like not as organic, more uniformed, but I still like shaded in here in the middle so it looks like airbrushed and natural. Sorry, my hair, she's a little crazy today. Okay, so again, on this side, even though I'm not doing the same exact technique, I still start in the middle of my brow and work my way out. That's just what works for me personally. If you've never really filled in your brows or still aren't really good at it, I wouldn't recommend like starting right here, because that's usually if you have too much product on your brush and you just start right there, it's like, oh god, now I gotta blend this all out. So I always start like in the middle and kind of work my way out and then work my way in. So I am gonna just so on this brow, that is a natural arch right there. I don't wax it to look like that. I actually hate that it's so far in, like it's too close. It should be out a little bit more. And it gets really like sparse right here, like no hair grows right there, and it should. So I'll be filling that in and showing you guys. Okay, so I'm starting here. Oh, again, I'm using the eyeshadow, the same eyeshadow from the Jaclyn Hill palette. So drawing here, and I'm just drawing a straight line. I mean, not a straight line, but I'm kind of following the natural curve of my brow. Because under here, I don't have any issues. I like the shape of it. And then up here is where it gets sparse. Like, see, there's like no freaking brow hair right there, and there needs to be. So that was one dip, and then I'm dipping again. And so here, to fill this in, I don't put like the most product right on the arch. I kind of go right past it and make my arch there, because that's where it should be. And just drag it down and connect it to the bottom. Now, everyone's brows are different. Everyone's brows need different love and different shape. So this is just me and how I do my brows. I'm tracing over this again, and then I'm just filling in the middle. Like I did the outline, the underneath and the top. Now I'm just filling in between. And I'm just feathering this in all over, working my way in. Again, I want not a ton of product on my brush when I go here in the front. And I'm just following the natural shape of my brow here. Like, I'm not going below it or above it or anything. I'm just underlining where it already is. And if you need to know where your brow should start, in the curve here of where your eyeshadow in the curve of your nose right here, this bridge right here is where the line should start for your brows. So it shouldn't go above it and it shouldn't go below it. This is where like the natural curve or the natural shape should start. Anyways, so I don't have much product on there. Now I'm just going in like where it's sparse anywhere and just reshaping or redefining that line that I just drew so it looks nice and crisp and clean. And just filling in these sparse areas. I'm lightly brushing on this product. Like, I don't want any streaks anywhere, nothing, so be gentle. So I stopped filling it in about, I don't know, an inch or so, and this is where I'm going to draw in little lines and make them look airbrush. So here, leave it like that, and now I'm tilting the brush again like how I had for the Organibrow. I'm tilting it so the long part is facing down, and I'm going in and I'm drawing little lines just with the tip of the brush and just kind of feathering that up, and I'm just drawing lines exactly how I did the Organibrow. And I start on the outside here first because that's usually where I have the most product, and I want it to be like ombre and blended. So if I have a lot of product on my brush, it's okay. I want a lot of product here, and then I want it to get less towards the center. That way you get that really like airbrushed, flawless, you know, drawn on brow. I'm dipping again slightly, and I'll just give you guys a look right now. So you can see there's just like little lines just right in here, and then all this looks smooth and, you know, more bold, I guess, than what this looks like. So, sorry, I'm just going in and I'm just like right here. It's still a little sparse for me, or not sparse, but it's just not as dark as I would like it. So I'm gonna just fill that in a little bit more, just right here on the arch, and just feather it all in. And whatever product I have left on the brush, I'm just gonna keep lightly feathering this, but I'm not gonna keep feathering it towards the front here because I want that to be really light and I want that to look flawless. So I'm not going to add any more product on my brush if I add more lines over here. And I just kind of drag it in till about the bridge of your nose. Same thing on this side. And then I'm just going to comb everything through, make sure it's not all patchy. If I see any little patchy areas, just fill it in a little bit. So all out through here, I want it to be like smooth and filled in, and then about an inch in is where I start feathering it. And that is about it. I don't put any brow gel on it. You can if you want. And if I were going out, I would start with dip brow and I would do that all the same thing. It would just be a little darker, and since it's a creamier product, it's gonna look a little more smooth and polished. Not that this doesn't, but I don't know how to explain it. It's just different when you use dip brow. But anyways, this is the brow. My camera kind of sucks. I'm sorry, I'm filming this on my cell phone. But yeah, she's very flawless and airbrushed in there, and then just kind of smooth and, you know, polished out there. But that is the difference versus this side. She's fluffy, she's organic, she's like, I don't do anything with my face, I don't wear any makeup, I woke up like this is my natural brow. And this side is like, I'm here to work, you know, I'm a little more polished and tamed, I'm a little more uniform. Yeah. Obviously, if you really want to go all out, you could go through with concealer and, you know, cut it out and make it look even more polished or whatever, but I don't do all that unless I'm going out and whatever. This is just my everyday for work, what I do one or the other, and this is it. Obviously it doesn't take that long when you do it on yourself. I'm explaining it, so it takes me longer. I can do this brow in literally like 2 to 3 minutes. This one honestly maybe takes me like 4 minutes, just because there's actual lines and I'm trying to like make it look more organic, and I feel like you have to put a little bit more work into it, at least for me and my brow hairs and my brow type, than I do for this one. So that's it. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I'm sorry if I talk too much or ramble too much. Please let me know if I do that. Or if this was really helpful for you and you guys like this. So many people have been asking me to do this and film brows for so long, like so long, and here I am finally doing it. So please give me all the feedback, whether it's good or bad. I want to hear it. I want to know how I can improve. I want to know if this helped you guys. If you liked it, go ahead and comment, send me a DM, whatever you want to do. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you liked it, and yeah, have a good rest of your day.